it's very interesting. I was just thinking about when I was 13 years old. We had one of our classmates, Adam, had died of leukemia when we were 12 in like middle school. And I remember that was my first funeral I had attended with my friends at school. And I remember being there amongst everybody crying, and I was the only one that didn't cry. And I remember holding my friend's, one of my girlfriend's hand in my left hand, Ashley Henry. And she's like, "How are you so strong?" I said, "I just understand death in a different way. It's not really death, there's like a life after it. I don't know how to explain it." Excuse me. And I said, "I've had 6 or 7 near death experiences. I don't fear it. It's not bad, and there's life there. Ask anybody who has had an NDE." And it's just very interesting. I have this weird gift where I know when people are about to cross over. And I remember my grandfather, my mom's dad, coming to me and being like somehow in my mind or heart or something, it was like, "Yo, I'm checking out June 16th." And I'm like, "Okay, Grandpa, whatever you want." And I remember June 17th, my dad had called me on the phone from Wintergreen and was like, "I have bad news." And I was like, "Dad, I know Grandpa crossed over." I was like, he came to me in spirit, and he was like, "Well, Grandpa died." I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I know. It's okay." And he's like, "What do you mean? How'd you know?" And I'm like, "Dad, I have gifts where I can't even explain to you, and I've been trying to tell you my whole life, but you don't freaking listen to anything I say." Either way, he had showed me. I said, "Dad, it was really cool." I said, "He had showed me a bench in a park, and there was like this fountain in front of him, almost like at Forsyth Park. And he was smoking a cigarette, but this time he didn't have his cane." I was like, "This is so interesting." And he got up and he was smoking a cigarette, and he like came up to me as if he was like on a camera. It was like a whole scene. And he like looked at me and he was like, and he winked, and he was like smoking a cigarette and just keep walking, and he was like, "Ha ha ha." And he was like, "Yeah." Like the way he used to laugh and stuff. It was funny. And I was like, and I knew when Grandma was going to cross over too. And that's why I called her on the phone and had written that song, Thanks Grandma, 3 years ago, because I knew she was. And I told my parents, and again, they didn't listen, and she crossed over, and I never was invited to the funeral. They said, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it was, you know, very interesting because in different cultures, you know, where it's life, you guys. Like, there's birth, there's death every day, right? So that's always the way it's been. It's not really new. And I just wanted to let people know that people should celebrate it because they're always with you, like literally with you still. And I always told people, like, think of it this way: now they're not stuck to being in one location. Maybe they could, now they're traveling with you and they're always with you. And I remember when Bubba, my grandmother, my dad's mom, had crossed over when I was in third grade. And my sister, Beth, had told me, you know, "I hear Bubba in the room." Like, she's literally hears her in the room. They had done a Ouija board also back in college. And Amy was asking her questions like, "What was our favorite snack?" And the Ouija board had spelt certs because when we were in New York and we'd go around doing errands with Grandma, she'd give us, we were hungry in the car, so she'd just give us these little mints that were called certs that were spearmint. So on the Ouija board, she spelled out certs. But she said that she felt her in the room, like move the blanket, or she'd feel her sit her on the bed. And I just thought these were beautiful things, and that people should celebrate it and look at it in a different way so they're not as sad. And life, there's only life, and it's gonna be okay. And I get it, and completely. And it's gonna be okay because they're still with you, in the room. Just believe, close your eyes, and ask them to show themselves because they've been there the whole time. I love you guys. It's gonna be okay.